Holla ballers, it's Preacher and we're on the PTR and we're testing the Proving Grounds. Is this the way of bringing people into the future and bringing it up to a rating standard? You know what? Totally is. Absolutely is. We're going to be looking at the caster DPS one. I believe the melee DPS one is different. I haven't done it yet. I'm doing these as and when I film them. I'm getting gold in all of them. This is, of course, the gold stage. The whole idea is you're going to be fighting several different mobs. There's about 5 or 6 different styles of enemies that you're going to be fighting. And what the aim of this gold challenge is to teach you is a lot about positioning and a lot about using your other abilities. There's a couple of different types of mobs. There's definitely the standard NPCs which don't do anything. Now what you do have is these amber shapers, which you can see right there, and also these banana throwers. Yeah, banana throwers. You can see that yellow ring there. That means that if you're inside that ring, he cannot throw a banana at you. Now, a banana will reduce your hits by about 75%, I believe. You essentially can't hit anything. The amber one, you're tempted to interrupt it. It fires this amber globule. Now, what you can see is if you position yourself between an amber mob and another mob, the amber globule can, in fact, hurt the other mobs. It stuns them and encases them in amber. Very similar to the Empress. So, positioning is key. Now, I can show you this here. Is I can see the the amber mob on the left, and I've got the banana mob in the middle. Now what I've done there is I've actually used my void tendrils to actually freeze the banana mob in place. Now the banana mob does tend to run around rather quickly in order to get you away from its yellow circle. We also have a healer mob, which you can see there. So I've positioned myself in the middle and then used the amber mob to freeze the banana mob while I kill the healer. The other aspect of this that gets taught is the ability to trick healer mobs. Not so much trick, but abuse their mechanics. And we're going to see a good example of that later on. And that is in terms of making the healer mob heal mobs that have less overall health. And in doing so, the effectiveness of their heal is reduced. Now, I will say that the gold time is very tight. I'm doing this in pretty much pre-made gear on the PTR. Nothing special by any means. So I see, again, I position myself in between both of the mobs. And then use the void tendrils there to freeze them down so the banana mob doesn't run everywhere. You can see he runs away like this while I work down the healer. You'll also notice that the banana mob has considerably less health than the healer. As such, I put a little bit of damage onto the banana mob first in order to force the healer to heal him rather than the actual healer who has considerably more health. These are the newest type of mobs, these guardians. Now you'll have seen these if you've ever done the Iron Con. They literally can only be DPS'd from behind. And then these banshees come into play. The banshees are a pain in the ass. You have a set amount of time in order to complete each wave. And you can see the time on the left. Now, the banshees have a bomb on them. If you do not nuke them down ASAP, you can see the bomb above him now. Then your round is over and you have to restart. I will say that I think the gold challenge is actually a little bit too long. You're unlikely to wipe, so to speak, in the first couple of waves, and it's 10 waves long. It does get a pain in the ass. Do note when you're trying this is after you kill those mobs, the banshees can still spawn. It can almost risk a death. It took me about... This was the most challenging of the Proving Grounds I've done so far. This is an example I wanted to show you there. I held onto my halo for some considerable time. This is 2 healer mobs and a pack of NPCs that are essentially just fodder. They don't do anything. But you can see I used my halo there to damage all the NPCs in the middle, and that forced both of those healers to try and heal those garbage NPCs, while I then went on to kill the healers. As such, these have very little health. They can just be mind-seared and AoE'd down. So it's a nice little lesson there in exactly how these things work. Is just to trick the mobs into doing something you want them to do. As such, you then make the whole thing much, much easier. It's a very nice thing. You'll also notice on the left there the damage icon. You get little treasure chests of damage. Now, you're tempted to pick these up straight away. Don't. They are for the later mobs. We do have another style of mob to see. As you can see, I dealt with that pack fairly well. As such, this has got a little bit of time in between. This I found to be the most difficult pack to deal with. We have a defender, a healer, an amber shaper, and a banana mob. Now you can see, and banshees as well. Yeah, this pack's a huge pain in the ass. What I did there is I positioned myself on the left side of the defender, so the amber globule would hit both. It does have an AoE effect. You can see it can encase both of them. Then did a little bit of damage on the other 3, avoiding the healer, and then went on to kill the healer ASAP, while still maintaining some dots on the other mobs. Now, as you can see, this is how the amber globule actually works. It follows you around. and then went on to continuously DPS these. Now you can see Banshees are still spawning, so it gets a little bit tight here if you're not careful. Just throw in a Halo there just to finish off that Defender, and then finish that Banshee off just in its sweet little time. Did rather well on that try. Like I said, this was 5 or 6 goes to get the gold. This is the wave that I wiped on the most. The rest of them I actually found pretty trivial. These are the newest type mobs, these Shars. Now, this is a Shar pack that has 2 Amber Globules. Now, I was tempted to try and get the Amber Globules to hit the Shar to stun it. The Shar doesn't do anything, which I didn't really realize. It doesn't do a damn thing. On top of that, the Shar has a shield on it that prevents 50% of your damage done. The trick I found to this is pretty much the first time I got to this wave, was to kill one Amber Shaper and then stand on the other side of the Shar and nuke it down ASAP. What that allowed me to do is just completely ignore his Amber Globules. They would hit the Shar, although they would have no effect. Now, periodically, you can see I've started using my focus frame. It's very important that you actually have a focus frame while you're doing this. You can see the debuff has changed now on the Shar, and he now takes 100% extra damage. Now, that window of opportunity isn't open for a very long time. You have to be fucking double quick on it. Once it is open, though, you can nuke him down rather effectively. It's, again, about positioning. I really love how the Proving Grounds are showing people about position. This mob combines a number of elements. We have the banana mob, which you can see I used my void tendrils as soon as I saw it. It's literally as soon as I saw a banana mob, I void tendrilled. I then put a little bit of damage on it and then moved on to the healer. The banana mobs don't have much health. A few dots will get the job done. I'm also aware that the Shar has this damage prevention, so I'm not too interested in him right now. What I do want to get rid of, though, is the healer. A lot of stuff about prioritizing, and then, of course, we now have more fucking Banshees. These are the bane of trying to do this, by the way, the Banshees. And that left me with just the Shar, so I can just go balls to the wall. Of course, we're still going to get Banshees spawning throughout this phase, but it is straight up nuke. In terms of talent choices, you generally will be tempted to roll with a sort of 5-man setup. However, the final mob in all of these Proving Grounds, in the DPS one, is in fact a total single target nuke, and you're going to need a big single target cooldown. I would have preferred to have rolled with Instant Mind Spike, those kind of abilities, but I had to go Power Infusion and Solace and Insanity, quite frankly, for the last mob only. The other spec would have carried me, essentially. I would have done so much easier to use the other spec, but considering that the last mob is almost a straight-up nuke fight, you can't really do that. So we came into the final one. I think this is the final one. No. And we went on and just, you've got this really large Shar, takes very little damage, and as you can see, I abused my position again. Somehow that missed. God knows what went on there. I thought I was in for a wipe here. Absolutely annoying as all hell. Went on to just keep dots on the Shar. He's my only priority. A couple of dots on the Amber Shaper will in fact just gradually kill it. I don't care too much about that. I know this is going to be a huge pain in the ass. We then had more Banshees. My god, these things are so annoying because, especially as a Shadow Priest, your dots are really ineffective. You have to use Mind Spike, you have to burn it down, and then get into this. So luckily, I see the debuff change, which is really nice to see, to teach DPSs to watch for debuffs on mobs. I see the debuff change. I then go ahead and fire off my Shadow Fiend and my Devouring Plague and use my Solace and Insanity to really nuke him hard. You can see how heavy I went on that. We can see another Banshee spawning at the end. And he is your priority. The Banshees take priority over absolutely everything. They do. This teaches a lot about priority. I love this. You can see his shield went back up, but he's got no chance now. He's absolutely got no health. And the Amber Shaper is going to die at the same time. And that's the goal. That's how you pick that up, guys. I hope you found that interesting. It's pretty easy. A lot of good stuff in there. Impressive. I'm going to do everything in gold. So watch the end of the video, and you can click if you want to see something else. Alright, guys. Bye.